go with
So
this
yeah,
stuff.
so my
Because
question is
I
going to
think the
be,
issue is like I'm like a complete counterexample, where
Yeah.
like I immediately got an internship, immediately got a job.
how would you, but not even that, how would you recommend somebody do what you did then? Or how do you recommend somebody gets in the industry right now?
Please don't
Don't say
report.
quit your job.
Yeah, have a spouse that can support you
Yes.
doing this full time,
Right.
studying for 6
See, and that's
months.
the question I have, because I have people that, like, we do interviews, and I
Yeah.
have people that have full-time jobs that really love cybersecurity, but they also have a family.
Yeah.
And so does that person just never get that? You
No,
know,
I
so-
think it's
yeah.
the same endeavor. It just
Yeah, I agree.
exploded. You know. It's,
Yeah. Well, that's why I want to get everybody's thoughts, because I have personal thoughts too.
I just feel like
Yeah.
I'm happy to weigh in, but like I feel like I'm such an unusual case that I don't want to like say like do what I did, just quit your job.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that's a
Yeah.
terrible.
I could
idea.
start us over.
What are your thoughts?
So you want me to, let's start over, I guess.
Okay, go.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of propose a question to the forum here. One of the things that I'm seeing is a lot of people. I mean, we're all making content for people that love the space, but one of our biggest audiences are people that are trying to get into space, trying to be pen testers, trying to be analysts. And I've come to realize that the advice that I've given over time has had to evolve with the times. Because when I got in the industry, I just knew somebody. I got in the industry, I had no background before, and I jumped into a martial arts conference, and I met a guy who was an old school hacker, and he moved really close to where I lived, and we started training together, and that's how I got into it. He just pointed me in the right direction, and there weren't a lot of resources for like web app hacking, and so built my own web app. I started hacking web apps. I got the Web App Hacker's Handbook, and I read it front to back. And so like I proved I had the skill set, and then that was enough for me to get in the industry. But nowadays, I feel like the big challenge that a lot of people are diving into or encountering as they're getting in the industry is like the skill floor has gotten so much higher. Like people have so much, there's awesome platforms like Hack the Box specifically that has like CBBH and CPTS, and they're walking in with no experience, but they're kind of badass. Like they're killing it. And they have the skill set, but companies are they're just having trouble getting that job. So I want to get everybody's perspective. I have my own perspective, but I want to see what everybody's perspective is for two people. For the person that's super stoked, just getting out of college, taking all the certs, what do they need to do to stand out to get a job? And then the other person who is really jazzed up about cybersecurity, but they still have a full-time job, but they're working 9 to 5, and they only have that time in the evenings where they're staying up late, past their kids and their spouse are already in bed, and they're just spending all their nights grinding. How do these two people, how do they tackle this problem? Who wants to go first?
I have thoughts, but maybe you want to jump in.
Other way? I don't care. So that's a loaded question, but it's a good question, right? I feel like there's a lot of different like angles and perspectives you can talk about this from. But then I'll start with the training, right? For the last 2-3 years, there's Try Hack Me, there's Hack the Box, there's all social training. OffSec just did a whole rebrand so they can get all their trainings out. They're coming out with new stuff. So training's not the question here. Like there's plenty of training out there, and there's plenty of people willing to take that training. There's plenty of people who get the training, get the cert, and expect to get the job. But it's also times are different now. With that, it's also what is it? It's not a hiring market right now. Like most of the decisions from businesses right now are from they're dealing with layoffs, they're dealing with fears of recession,
Hey, I'm Gar with 7 Cs.
I'm Ryan. I'm the Senior Technical Operations Manager of Hack the Box.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm a threat emulation specialist at White Oak Security.
Hi, I'm Ben. I'm Telecommunications Manager with Spectrum.
I'm Chad B. Noob. I work as a pen tester in an undisclosed location, and I'm a content creator.
I'm Faraday or Austin. I'm a security analyst at Huntress.
I'm Maddie, security analyst.
Gar, what type of work do you do? What type of pen testing do you specialize in?
That's a good question. My favorite type of pen testing has got to be application pen testing. So web app, mobile app, thick client, and like lately a lot of generative AI stuff. That's like my I'd say my first love. But of course I do like the infrastructure testing too, but application security is probably my favorite. So.
What do you do to study for the generative AI stuff,
Ooh.
being that it's so new, or do you just make it up on the fly?
No, that's a good question. So when I first started, it's so new. I feel like there's not a lot of resources, so I've been jumping at pretty much whatever I can. And so I started with web security academies like Gen AI like targets, right? But the problem with that is it doesn't have any history, like as far as the conversation goes. And so it's just a one-shot attack. It's like you try it, see if it works. So there's definitely good stuff and good realism there. So I combine that with, I think Lacera has that Gandalf one where you can get it's like different levels of security. And then from there, I just started messing around with OpenAI, and now I'm just jumping at whatever I can. Like here at Black Hat DefCon, I took the Microsoft AI Red Team course. I did a whole bunch of CTFs. There's like a Crucible by a company named Dreadnode has like new AI CTFs that you can tackle, and they're brand new. There's a whole new challenge, and they just partnered with BugCrowd for a CTF where you can win up to $10,000 on finding something. And I'm not sponsored, but I just want to make that clear. But yeah, and to be honest with you, the most of the learning I've done has been on the job, either with my clients or with some of my bigger clients. I've had a lot of actual applications that talk to LLMs, so I've had a lot of hands-on experience with this too. So, sorry, long-winded answer. So.
That's amazing. I don't think anyone else stands up to that. That's probably the most I've ever heard about AI learning. Ryan, buddy, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm good.
Out of curiosity, how long have we been trying to do this?
You've been probably trying to interview me for at least 2.5 years, probably.
I think both of us are hard to catch up with.
Well, it's the thing is that we'll see each other at cons all the time, but like the window of opportunity where you want to interview is so short, and then I'm usually not around. So then by the time we meet up later, it's like, oh, we're already drinking.
So so we'll talk about why you aren't around. Tell us about your work at Hack the Box.
Right. So I'm the senior technical operations manager at Hack the Box. I've been there for 3.5 years almost. I have somewhat of a boring job. My job is very much focused on making sure that the company continues to function on a technical level internally. That means I do a lot of automation. I do a lot of work with things like AI, generative AI, any sort of new technology that comes out or new automation that we can use to, or I can use to basically make other people's workloads easier, or I can use to make the company just function better. That's what I do. So it's security adjacent in the fact that I deal a lot with security, but I'm not necessarily in a security role, even if it is a technical one. And I feel like you ignored a lot of what I just said.
I think Maddie may have a question for you.
Go for it.
Let me think. Okay, first off, red team or blue team?
I mean, is that a question? It's red team. Obviously, it's red team. Look, blue team is awesome too, but red team's more fun. Easy.
Yeah, very true. What's your favorite hacking tool or software or whatever?
My favorite hacking tool or software? Oh man, that's I want to say Auto Recon just to suck up to Tibbs, but no, genuinely, I don't really know. I just like Python probably, which is such a cop-out answer, but I use Python for everything. I make my own tools.
Hell yeah, deving it up.
Yeah,
Chefing it up. He's cooking.
I am. It's if you make your own tools, it's a lot easier to understand how everything works, and it's also a lot easier to customize it to do the weird specific thing you want it to do, as opposed to trying to get something else that wasn't built for that to do the thing you want it to do. But.
How long did it take you to get good at Python?
I don't know, because I've been programming for 12 years, but not constantly. So I haven't had a developer job. So I feel like someone could probably get to my same level of skill set in a few years if you just did it consistently. I was on and off for that period of time. So, right.
I will say, I think Tiberius would be mad that you said Auto Recon over Burp Suite, to be honest with you.
I don't use Burp Suite. I only use the free version, and I only use Interceptor and Repeater.
Yeah, still good tools.
Yeah. Anybody else want to? Or do you have another question for me?
Rob, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Chad?
I'm pretty good. How many times have you introduced yourself to me over these past?
Probably at least 3. That's probably why my voice is so harsh.
To
Shouting.
include just now when we came back.
Absolutely. It's great to be here.
Sorry about that, man. What type of work do you do? What type of pen testing do you do?
I do primarily web app pen testing with a bit of external network penetration testing on the side.
What you like better?
Web apps.
I'm not sure how I feel about all these web app pen testers. I think all you guys are weird.
That's why we hang out together.
I have to become you, but until then, we don't like it. What do you like about web pen testing over internal or network pen testing?
That's a really good question. I think the diversity of technologies that I encounter on a weekly, monthly basis keeps things really interesting for me. It keeps the skill ceiling really high. I think that primarily the way that the different technologies interact with each other adds another layer of complexity on top, and that's what I'm here for, is to learn about all the permutations, that one could possibly encounter in this role.
Why do you hate internal networks? I didn't like any of that.
I don't hate it. I feel it's probably cliche to say, but I feel like very often people fall into one of the two camps, and there's the kind of avatar of like the Mr. Robot black hooded figure, and I never identified with that. I'm not a programmer by trade, and I don't have a programming background. I did a little bit of web development out of college, but beyond that, I have pretty limited experience there. But for me, the format, the request response format of web app pen testing keeps it really linear, and so while there is a diversity in the technologies that you encounter, the way that you approach it and the universality of some of the methodology, I think, makes it manageable.
Absolutely. How are you enjoying DEF CON this year?
I'm having a great time. It's my second year at DEF CON, and I think that everyone has a different experience the second year. I mean, I'm sure I'll have a different experience my third year, but I'm doing a lot more workshops and talks this year. And still collecting stickers, but I think it's really good to delve into some of the more substantive elements of the event.
Which location's better, this year or last year?
I think there are pros.
Only easy questions here.
Yeah, I think there are pros and cons of both locations. No, to be honest, that is my real answer. I really liked last year, pretty much being able to stay on top of the con and being able to get back to my room when I need to and get to events without much of a travel time. Here, there's so much space, and I think that's really palpable and really evident. I've been a little frustrated this year, I think, with some of the scheduling, just because there's so many things that I want to do, and I feel like a lot of the talks that I want to attend start at the same time.
I've been trying to be in two places at once. I think since I had kids, since I started work. Yeah, all the time. Absolutely understand it. Appreciate your time, Rob.
For sure.
Ben.
Dancing Weatherman.
Dancing Weatherman, yes.
I'm sorry. You are the Dancing Weatherman. That's all. Do you guys know who I'm talking about, by the way? We're going to go back over that. Ben, how you enjoyed DEF CON?
It's great. It's something I've never experienced before. It's my first time at DEF CON. I've been shouted at by goons. It's great. I've been screwed with by goons. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm going random talks. I'm planning nothing, and I'm told that's not the way to do it. But I'm enjoying it.
I think that's totally the way to do it. Now, when you say you've been yelled at by goons, give me one example.
I've been told that I shouldn't have what I had, that I should be giving it back. I've been told that I'm playing a game wrong, which is the Black Badge raffle, which I've been told, don't be an idiot, it's not true. I'm like, no, I know it's not true. But there is a game around it, and they don't know what I'm talking about. They think I'm an idiot and walk off.
I think in your particular situation, I was about to tell you that the story you were given was BS, but they actually added substance to that story now, and it is a whole thing.
There's a whole website.
There's multiple decks of cards of goons, so on and so forth. What talks have you liked so far? What have you enjoyed about it so far? Talks, villages?
I was in an Azure exploitation talk about moving between Azure and on-premise hosts. That was interesting. I'm not going to say I understood 100%, but no, that was interesting. And then I was there at the Red Village keynote on just sort of an adversarial mindset. There's been a few talks. There was one on just general AI and sort of the history of how ChatGPT sort of safety borders were broken before they added complexity requirements, things like that.
I think I should have gone to that Azure one myself. My coworker working the camera probably knows that I should have gone to that one myself. What type of work do you do now as you're trying to transition into pen testing?
So I've been in management for 15 plus years. I work with a telecommunications Spectrum company, and basically manage multiple teams. And we have billing, repair, kind of a sort of mobile help desk, as it were. I'm over training, recruiting. I'm over production teams. I have about, I don't know, a few supervisors, 60 to 100 agents at any one time, and I've been doing that. I've also done some small things with Kaiju security, mainly through vulnerability testing and OSINT, through a friend of mine. He's really nice. He'll, occasionally, as part of his team, just allow me to sort of test the waters on some real-time engagements, and that's been a lot of fun. So,
Nice. So you've already done some OSINTing, some pen testing work.
I call it, yes. I'm not saying I'm in the industry, but I'm saying that I've sort of started digging my feet. I'm part of the majority of the cybersecurity community who probably comes to DEF CON, who is not in cybersecurity yet, really. But I'm traversing the battlefield, which is understanding what these certs are, what they mean, trying to understand what the HR barrier is and what actual knowledge is in this industry, based off, your CompTIA multiple choice exams, which do very little other than spruce up my snazzy resume. But now I've sort of gone through INE, and now I'm sort of discovering what a practical, very outdated test looks like, But now I'm enrolled in the OSCP, which kind of hits both categories, checks a lot of boxes, so I plan to do that. Once I get past that, which I think is probably the HR barrier killer, I plan to really push into, so far what I've seen, which is sort of cloud pen testing or web app, because that just looks the most interesting. Not saying I don't love network pen testing, because that's where I concentrate on. I've loved a lot of the tools I've come across. Auto Recon seems to just automate it all, which surprisingly is still available to use in OSCP, which is great. So I'll be using that.
Chad and Maddie do not advocate using auto recon on an actual pen test. I just want to say that. Keep going.
Okay, absolutely. But yeah, it's been a great experience, and I think one of the biggest things I've done, which not having a plan, my plan was to network, get to know the people or the faces behind the handles, get to know build the hacker family, and they say it's all about who you know. So I've really enjoyed doing that. And I've also, I'm not wearing it today, but I did come to DEF CON in a Hire Me t-shirt, asked me for my resume, and I put some of the certs on the t-shirt. A little desperate sounding, but it did cause a...
How much attention did you get from that?
I got a lot. Somebody took my photo in line. They asked permission. I got a business card from Homeland Security. I've got Gar's business card. I got a few business cards. I've handed it out, and it's been interesting. So there's going to be some emailing going on after DEF CON. See what I can do.
Nice. And just so I'm clear, you also had some business cards, which are basically summarized resumes that you were handing out. Is that right?
I do. Yes, it's what I'm looking for, what I have, or some basics, and then a LinkedIn on there.
That's how you get it done. I don't know if we have any. You don't have any. Well, no, we're not going to do that.
I absolutely do.
I think he's wanting to take a picture of him.
Yeah,
Unless I'm
here's a
missing
photo
that.
of it right here.
I'm gonna put that
In
link in the
post.
description below.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah. Smash that like button.
That's a life button. Faraday,
Yes, sir.
how are you?
I'm doing good, Chad. How are you?
You know what? I'm okay right up until I lose my train of thought and literally forget you were sitting there next to me. What type of pen testing do you do?
I
If
mean,
pen testing, I'm sorry.
I don't do pen testing. I'm more of an analyst that goes through malware analysis to things of dealing with pen testers when they're going laterally through a movement. So we detect that and try to see if it's malicious or a sysadmin just having a really pissed off day. We see that quite often.
So you mostly go through logs, or what type of tools are you using?
Almost anything under the sun, honestly. CyberChef's always a go-to for analyzing the malware.
Really?
Plus, yeah. And additionally, the Flare tool set that you can load onto Windows, which has basically any type of malware analyzation tools like under the sun, from dynamic to static.
Is Flare new?
I think it's a few years old now.
Is it company or product?
It's technically, I guess, a software product, but it's just a repo that collects a bunch of open source tools and puts it all in one package for you.
So how does it relate to maybe like the elk stack?
It's purely something you run in your own VM for like personal use. Typically, you don't run it as in like a production environment.
Oh, you said malware analysis specifically.
Yes, that's for that.
So your computer does not get ransomware. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
So you run it in the VM or on the host?
Yeah, on the VM. Mm-hmm.
Okay. How long have you been doing analyst work?
My experience splits. My professional experience is between detection and analysis for like the last 2.5 years now, I believe. But as a hobby, I started hacking way in like my baby years of high school, and starting with a lot of Wi-Fi hacking. And you guys probably know NullByte, that YouTube channel and series, that website. That's what really was like, holy shit, like this is badass.
Yeah, NullByte is
Put up
badass.
put up the hoodie, hack the Wi-Fi. That's like my humble beginnings, you could say.
Right. How long have you been passion hacking on the side? And did that lead you into the blue team side? Ethically, of course. In a lab.
I'd say, like maybe 6 years now, 8 years.
Okay.
It's
And
really taken off the last 3, I'd say.
what do we have to do to get you to the dark side? I mean, in the red teaming.
I mean, I recently did get my OSCP this year.
You got it already?
Yeah.
You just
Mhm.
congratulations.
Thank you.
You've done something I haven't
Appreciate it,
done.
man.
Good job.
So maybe when I want to jump ship, I'll think about it,
Oh, we won't talk about that on camera. What was your favorite sections in the OSSEC, the PWK course?
I'd probably say a lot of the Linux and Windows Prevesk it feels like a puzzle. Like right when you get initial access on a host, you're like, what can I really enumerate to see where I can either horizontally get privileges or vertically get a new account type of deal. I feel like with the software updates, or your service packages on Windows, you're like, okay, this is out of date. This has like, Eternal Blue or, one of the juicy potatoes, like any of the potatoes, honestly, for Windows.
There are several potatoes for sure.
There's a lot of potatoes.
Yeah, I think there's 2 new ones recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Well, we're not going to talk about you jumping ship, but thank you. Maddie, how you doing?
Doing good.
What type of work do you do in cybersecurity?
Yeah, so I'm mainly just like a cyber analyst. Do some like detection engineering, tweaking EDRs, putting some like ransomware on like VMs to like test our like prod environment, but like a duplicate of it, obviously. So yeah,
Okay, and you also do hacking on the side.
I dabble.
Dabble. What platform do you use? I'm assuming Hack the Box.
Honestly, I've never used Hack the Box. I mainly just use Try Hack Me. I literally. Hey, get out! Bring someone from Try Hack Me in here.
I'm sorry, but you use TryHackMe is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
TryHackMe still has a lot of the training wheels market, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they maybe yeah, we won't talk about that competition. I don't want this camera to come flying across the table at me. What do you dabble in when you're hacking? Is it Linux, Windows, network, or?
Yeah, mainly Linux. I like a lot of like Linux like privilege escalation, like Faraday was talking about. I need to get better at Windows Prevesk, but
So do I.
I know, because I just don't really care about Windows, which like is a weak spot. So like you need to like patch those weak spots in your education. So.
That's me with web.
And me with
right at
web
Rob.
too. Like, I'm just like a Linux gal, and I just need to like spread my wings out of Linux.
Absolutely. I'm wondering why we're being laughed at over here, but it's fine. So what do you do out on the side? I hear you might have like a Instagram page or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, I do have an Instagram. I got an Instagram. I got an X. I got a TikTok. I got a YouTube. I got a LinkedIn. Got to Try Hack Me.
Which do you post on most, or is it simultaneously pushing to all of them?
Pretty simultaneously pushing out on all platforms, because, cross-posting, clipping videos.
All right, we're having fun back here. Sorry about that. Which platform do you think gets the most attention?
Most attention, definitely Instagram, because Reels, also a Reel I posted got like 2.5 million views, so definitely Instagram, which I'm trying to like up it to the YouTube side for like monetization, like money purposes. So
Absolutely. How many followers do you have on between Instagram and YouTube?
like combined, added.
Oh, each one.
Instagram right now I think I have like 75K, and YouTube I have like 25K.
Okay.
So yeah.
What content got all those millions of views?
On YouTube, it was I did like a Metasploitable tutorial, like GTFO Benz, and on Instagram it was like me explaining what Linux is for like 5 seconds.
What is Linux in 5 seconds?
Linux kernel, not an OS. All you people in my comments, yeah. But everyone calls it an OS. Like, who calls it a kernel? No one. So.
Most humans don't say that. You're right.
Yeah, I know, literally. So yeah, that was the big debate in the comments.
Is it a kernel or an OS?
It said you don't know Linux.
Exact tone.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
Really, yeah, they typed it in that tone.
They did.
I love it. Hey, that's all I got. Ladies and gentlemen, Batty, I'm Chad B. Noob. Have a great day.
Yeah. Peace.
Okay, Chad, keep on the round table. Wait. Make the cut for that. We're good?
Okay, cool.
Thank you. Is there and that's me losing my train of thought.
Yes.
Sorry about it. I would say instead of putting it down.
Yeah, we're gonna have to pass it. Yeah,
Hold on.
No comment.
So we need to.
All right, how did that?
We should have stolen those other ones. Like he specifically told us not to.
I think it makes sense to do it in like.
I think like
So here's what you should do. You should pick the pairings you think will be the most interesting,
that makes total
and
sense.
then rotate.
With our noob, do you work in cybersecurity yet?
Yeah.
So he's the only noob. He's the only guy that we're trying to get
I
hired
have the
from
best
somewhere.
big title now. I can say I'm like international consultant for a Fortune 500.
So technically, I share with him. His path is kind of what I'm trying to do.
No, Motorola's like